Chosen ones, the truth exploded like lightning across the sky, each word you spoke striking with undeniable clarity. You stood your ground, unflinching, as their faces drained of color. Your justice had uncovered what they desperately tried to bury. Facts they couldn't dispute, evidence they couldn't dismiss. Now they tremble with fear, not with rage, but with the cold realization that what you said was true. Not fabrications or exaggerations, but the unvarnished truth laid bare for all to witness. Their elaborate defenses crumble as your pursuit of justice illuminates everything they've done. Yet instead of accepting accountability, they retreat further into denial. Eyes darting, voices stammering, they refuse to own up to their actions. The very responsibility they demand from others becomes suddenly inconvenient when the spotlight turns their way. Your justice didn't seek revenge, it only sought truth. But that truth has become the very thing they fear most, a mirror reflecting actions they can no longer pretend don't exist. The spiritual awakening you experienced granted you vision beyond the veil, allowing you to perceive what others could not. You recognized the patterns, identified the manipulation, and named the deception openly. For this clarity, they labeled you unstable. For this truth-speaking, they attempted to isolate you. Yet time, that most honest of witnesses, now confirms every insight you shared. Your opponents face a reckoning they never anticipated. The weapons formed against you return to their creators with cosmic precision. Those who dug pits for your downfall find themselves trapped in those very excavations. Those who spread poison about your name now taste that same bitterness on their own tongues. Universal law executes justice with flawless accuracy, requiring no intervention from you. Their fear manifests physically now. Sleepless nights plague those who caused your suffering. Anxiety cripples those who projected false peace while creating chaos. Misfortune befalls those who wished it upon you, not because you cursed them. Your hands remain clean, but because the energy they directed outward inevitably completes its circuit and returns home. The same individuals who dismissed your warnings now scramble to prepare for the very scenarios you described. The same people who ridiculed your insights now quietly implement the wisdom you freely offered. Yet their pride prevents them from acknowledging you as the source. They would rather suffer silently than admit you possessed the foresight they lacked. Your justice arrives not with thunderous proclamation, but with quiet inevitability. It seeps into every crevice of deceit, illuminating what was hidden. It exposes every plot hatched against you in shadowed rooms, the whispered conspiracies, the strategic character assassination, the deliberate isolation tactics, all rise to the surface like bodies in water, unable to remain submerged when their time has come. Those who positioned themselves as your judges now stand before a higher tribunal. Those who appointed themselves executioners of your reputation now face examination under unforgiving light. The universe permits temporary injustice, but ensures ultimate balance. What emerges now is merely the completion of an equation set in motion when they first moved against you. Their desperate clinging to false narratives reveals the magnitude of their fear. They recognized the potential consequences of their actions from the beginning, but gambled on your silence, your defeat, your surrender. They never anticipated your resilience. They never factored in your spiritual protection. They never considered that powers beyond their comprehension might stand guard over your path. Witness their fragmenting alliances with detachment. Those who united against you now turn on each other with savage precision. Unified only by opposition to your light, they find no lasting bonds among themselves once that common enemy no longer serves as focus. Like rats abandoning a sinking vessel, they scatter in desperate self-preservation, each suddenly concerned only with personal survival. Your vision clarified through adversity, while theirs clouded through deception. You recognized the spiritual nature of the battle while they remained fixated on material manifestations. You understood that temporary defeat often precedes ultimate victory while they celebrated prematurely. The wisdom you gathered through suffering now serves as your strength while their shallow triumph transforms into profound loss. The authorities they appealed to for validation now question their credibility. The witnesses they presented now contradict their testimonies. The evidence they manufactured now reveals its fabrication. Systematic dismantling of their carefully constructed case against you proceeds without your direct involvement. Divine timing orchestrates what human effort could never accomplish. Their refusal to accept accountability demonstrates spiritual immaturity rather than strength. True power acknowledges its missteps. Authentic authority admits its errors. Genuine leadership takes responsibility for its actions. Their continued denial reveals not confidence, but profound weakness, the inability to face themselves honestly. Their fear of accountability exceeds even their fear of consequences. Each truth you spoke planted seeds that now bear fruit. The harvesting season arrives without your effort. You simply created the conditions through authentic expression. Your words, empowered by truth, contained creative force that manifested reality. Their words, emptied by deception, produced only temporary illusion that now evaporates under scrutiny. The cosmic camera pans back to reveal the complete picture. What appeared as isolated incidents against you now shows itself as a pattern affecting many. What seemed personal persecution emerges as systematic oppression. Your individual stand. For truth connects to collective awakening. Your private battle contributes to universal liberation. Your specific vindication heralds widespread justice. Those who weaponized your vulnerability against you discover their own defenses failing. Those who exploited your temporary weakness find their own strength diminishing. Those who celebrated your struggles now face challenges that dwarf anything they inflicted upon you. Perfect balance requires neither your vengeance nor your involvement. It simply is. Notice how they age before your eyes. Deception exacts its physical toll. The strain of maintaining elaborate lies accelerates deterioration. While truth preserves your vitality, falsehood consumes their life force. The contrast grows more pronounced. With each passing day, your increased clarity against their escalating confusion, your expanding peace against their multiplying chaos, your transformation through adversity refined you like precious metal in fire. You emerged stronger, clearer, more authentic. Meanwhile, their resistance to growth keeps them trapped in repetitive patterns. They fight the very experiences that might redeem them. They reject the lessons that could elevate them. They refuse the accountability that would ultimately liberate them. The spiritual laws they violated operate with mathematical precision. Energy directed outward must complete its circuit. Intention manifests as experience. Every action generates equal reaction. These principles function regardless of belief or acknowledgement. Their denial of universal law never exempted them from its operation. Their temporary evasion merely delayed the inevitable return. Watch as they attempt increasingly desperate measures to avoid the approaching accountability. Like cornered animals, they lash out with diminishing effect. Their accusations grow more extreme, yet convince fewer witnesses. Their attacks intensify, yet impact you less significantly. Their opposition becomes more visible, yet accomplishes nothing against your divinely orchestrated rise. Your opponents mistake divine timing for absence of justice. They interpreted delay as denial. They confused patience with weakness. The universal forces gathering momentum against them far exceed anything they prepared to face. The reckoning approaching them dwarfs anything they imagined possible. The consequences awaiting them transcend their limited conception of justice. Their fear multiplies because they recognize on some primal level that what unfolds now exists beyond their control. No amount of manipulation alters their trajectory. No clever strategy diverts the approaching judgment. No influential connection shields them from universal law. For perhaps the first time, they confront a force impervious to their usual tactics. Your truth threatened their carefully constructed reality. Your authenticity exposed their performance. Your integrity highlighted their corruption. Your genuine spiritual connection revealed their empty religious posturing. Your quiet confidence undermined their loud insecurity. By simply existing as yourself, you created an unbearable contrast they could neither ignore nor tolerate. The armor of righteousness you wear was forged in the very fires they used to try destroying you. The shield of discernment you carry developed through analyzing their deception. The sword of truth you wield sharpened against the stone of their resistance. Every weapon they deployed against you ultimately strengthened your arsenal while depleting their resources. Their previous boldness deteriorates into obvious fear. Where once they spoke against you publicly, now they whisper behind closed doors. Where once they moved openly to undermine you, now they operate from shadows. Where once they proudly claimed opposition to you, now they deny any involvement. Their retreat reveals more than their advance ever disclosed. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. Look, I know you came here for your chosen one video, but I need a minute. If I don't, speak this into the field now. I might never forgive myself. Some of us were born into fire, abused, exiled, haunted by truths no one around us could hold. That doesn't mean we're cursed. It means we were chosen to walk through the veil and come back with the map. Inside the Obsidian Inner Order, we gather every week, live on Zoom, face-to-face. And when I say real people, I mean it. A former military drone operator who now uses his mind as the remote. A millionaire CFO who walked away from everything to become a psychic in Noosa, a spiritual healer once trapped inside a satanic cult, a seer, a sage, a soul who left Mormonism and found the Gnosis instead. These are the ones who gave it all up when their calling hit. And that's just a glimpse, and every call is recorded. So when you're alone, when you're crawling through the dirt of your own awakening, you can press play and feel the field again. This is not for everyone, but maybe it's for you. Can you see yourself among us? Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. Thank you all for supporting the broadcast. We quite literally could not do this without you. The Divine Court accepts evidence inadmissible in human tribunals. The cosmic justice system considers motivation where earthly judges examine only action. The universal law enforcement perceives intention where mortal authorities require physical proof. No thought formed against you went unrecorded. No plan conceived to harm you escaped documentation. The complete transcript of their case against you exists in perfect detail. Their momentary victory cost them everything while your temporary defeat preserved what mattered most. They sacrificed integrity for advantage and lost both. You surrendered advantage for integrity and gained immeasurably. The contrast between your respective positions grows starker with each revelation. What appeared as your weakness emerges as your salvation. What seemed their strength reveals itself as their undoing. Recognize the spiritual significance of your vindication. It transcends personal satisfaction and enters the realm of collective demonstration. Through your experience, others witness divine justice in operation. Through your stand for truth, others find courage to speak their own. Through your refusal to surrender authentic voice, others reclaim their silenced expressions. Your individual victory contributes to universal awakening. The timeline splits before them now. One path offers accountability, humility, recognition of error, and potential redemption. The other promises continued denial, escalating consequences, spiritual deterioration, and eventual destruction. Their fear stems partly from this momentous choice facing them, the recognition that cosmic patience has limits and decision points arrive. Your justice manifests not through revenge, but through revelation. Truth needs no defense, it simply needs exposure. The light you shine never attacked the darkness, it simply revealed what existed within it. The clarity you offered never assaulted confusion, it simply presented alternative perception. By remaining aligned with higher principles, you enabled justice without becoming its executor. Their spiritual bankruptcy becomes evident as justice unfolds. Having invested in temporary power rather than eternal truth, they face cosmic foreclosure. Their moral credit exhausted through repeated violations, they confront consequences without resources to negotiate terms. The spiritual wealth you accumulated, through maintaining integrity despite persecution, now contrasts sharply with their obvious poverty. Watch how the very communities they turned against you now question their narratives. Observe how the same audiences that once believed their tales now doubt their credibility. Notice how their influence diminishes precisely where they exercised it most destructively against you. The territories they conquered through deception liberate themselves through awakening perception. Universal forces align to confirm your position because truth requires no elaborate maintenance. Falsehood demands constant reinforcement, continuous adjustment, perpetual vigilance. The energy required to sustain their deception eventually exceeds their capacity to generate it. Meanwhile, your truth stands self-supporting, requiring no defense, existing independent of belief or acceptance. Their fear escalates because subconsciously they understand spiritual law even while consciously denying it. Some primal recognition informs them that cosmic balance cannot be permanently evaded. Some ancestral memory reminds them that natural consequences follow violation of universal principles. Their increasing terror reflects dawning realization that what approaches cannot be escaped. The spiritual authority granted to truth speakers manifests now through your vindication. Those who channel divine wisdom might temporarily suffer persecution, but ultimately experience justification. The prophetic mantle you carried, often unwillingly and under extreme opposition, receives cosmic validation. The messages delivered through you, once rejected, now reveal their profound accuracy. Notice the precise targeting of the justice you witness. It affects specifically those areas where offense occurred. Those who attacked your reputation face reputation crisis. Those who undermined your finances encounter financial collapse. Those who isolated you socially experience abandonment. Those who questioned your sanity confront their own psychological disintegration. Divine precision executes perfect response. Your opponents discover too late the spiritual protection surrounding truth speakers. The invisible guardians assigned to those who channel divine messages. The cosmic boundaries established around those who serve as conduits for higher wisdom. The universal defense systems activated for those who stand as representatives of greater truth. What appeared as your vulnerability concealed immeasurable protection. Their attempts to rewrite history fail spectacularly as evidence emerges with supernatural timing. The very methods they use to conceal truth become instruments of its revelation. The spiritual laws they violated operate independently of human recognition, belief, or acknowledgement. Universal justice proceeds regardless of one's acceptance of its reality. Their increasing desperation reveals the approaching completion of this cosmic cycle. The universal timeline approaches the point where temporary imbalance resolves into perfect equilibrium. The divine mathematics completes its calculation with absolute precision. Your perseverance through persecution demonstrated spiritual maturity they failed to recognize. The qualities they mocked as weakness emerge now as transcendent strength in contrast to their obvious fragility. The cosmic spotlight now illuminates what transpired in darkness, their hidden actions broadcast on spiritual channels accessible to increasing numbers of awakened observers. Their fear betrays the magnitude of their offense. Through their reaction, they testify against themselves more eloquently than any external witness ever could. The divine timing of your vindication serves greater purpose than personal justice. It arrives precisely when collective consciousness prepared to receive its demonstration. Your individual experience serves cosmic curriculum beyond personal consideration. Your justice manifests with supernatural support because it represents restoration of divine order rather than personal vendetta. Universal forces align to re-establish equilibrium disrupted by intentional opposition to truth. Your vindication constitutes not merely individual experience, but demonstration of universal principles in operation. Those who weaponize spirituality against you discover the dangerous territory they entered. The spiritual authorities they claim to represent withdraw protection, while the forces they truly serve demand payment. The contrast between your current position and theirs reveals everything necessary about the paths you respectively chose. Your temporary suffering produced lasting peace. Their momentary triumph created permanent turmoil. Your integrity through adversity developed unshakable foundation. Their corruption, despite advantage, constructed inevitable collapse. Universal justice operates neither through revenge nor punishment, but through perfect restoration of balance. The fear you witness indicates recognition of approaching equilibrium by those who benefited from temporary imbalance. Your vindication arrives with perfect timing, not when you demanded it, not when you expected it, not when you thought necessary, but precisely when its impact serves maximum purpose. The divine calendar operates independently of human scheduling. Cosmic timing functions according to universal rather than personal considerations. What appears as delay reveals itself as supernatural precision. Those who persist in denying your truth despite mounting evidence demonstrate not strength but spiritual deterioration. Their continued rejection of reality, despite its increasingly obvious manifestation, reveals cognitive fragmentation rather than admirable persistence. Their determination to maintain falsehood despite its collapsing credibility displays pathological detachment rather than principled conviction. The spiritual consequences facing your opponents transcend material manifestations, though these appear as well. Beyond financial collapse, reputation destruction, relationship dissolution, and structural failure awaits confrontation with ultimate reality. The existential reckoning approaching them exceeds physical experience. The cosmic accountability awaiting them transcends earthly consequence. Your justice unfolds with both obvious and subtle demonstrations. Some consequences manifest visibly, for collective witnessing. Others occur privately, where only the individual experiences their impact. Some revelations appear publicly for widespread acknowledgement. Others emerge personally for intimate recognition. Both dimensions operate simultaneously, creating comprehensive accountability impossible to evade. Those who dismissed your spiritual perception now face realities their materialistic framework cannot explain. Those who ridiculed your warnings now encounter scenarios their limited perspective never anticipated. Those who rejected your insights now navigate territories their conditional understanding fails to comprehend. Their fear stems partly from confronting what their belief system denied could exist. The universal support surrounding truth speakers manifests most visibly when opposition reaches maximum intensity. The cosmic protection enveloping divine messengers reveals itself most clearly when persecution achieves greatest coordination. The spiritual defense encompassing authentic voices demonstrates most powerfully when attack attains highest organization. Your greatest vulnerability, paradoxically, exposed your most profound invincibility. Their fear escalates proportionally to their awakening recognition of what they've activated. The spiritual forces mobilized through their intentional opposition to truth exceed anything their limited understanding predicted. The cosmic response, generated by their conscious rejection of divine message, transcends their conceptual framework. The universal reaction triggered by their deliberate persecution of light surpasses their experiential reference. Your opponents now stand exactly where their choices positioned them, facing consequences they created, confronting revelations they feared, experiencing manifestations they denied possible. Their current placement represents perfect spiritual justice, not through external judgment, but through natural outcome of intentional decision. The fear you witness acknowledges realization that their careful construction contains seeds of its own inevitable destruction. Universal justice proceeds with or without your participation. Cosmic balance restores itself regardless of your pursuit. Divine order reestablishes equilibrium independent of your involvement. Understanding this spiritual principle frees you from any obligation to seek or enforce accountability. Your vindication unfolds not through your effort, but through operation of natural law activated by their opposition to truth you represented. The testimony of your lived experience speaks louder than any verbal declaration you could offer. Your continued presence, despite their coordinated efforts to destroy you, communicates more powerfully than any argument you might present. Your peaceful advancement, despite their determined opposition to block you, demonstrates more convincingly than any evidence you could provide. Your existence itself constitutes both your defense and their indictment. Your justice arrives exactly on time, neither early nor late, but precisely when intended by divine scheduling. What appeared as delay served purpose beyond your awareness. What seemed postponement fulfilled function beyond your recognition. What looked like denial created conditions necessary for maximum impact upon revelation. The cosmic calendar operates with supernatural precision despite human impatience. Those who persecuted you for speaking truth discover too late the spiritual consequences of opposing divine messengers. Those who attacked you for revealing reality recognize belatedly the universal repercussions of fighting authentic revelation. Those who undermined you for exposing deception understand tardily the cosmic penalties for resisting genuine illumination. Their fear acknowledges dawning comprehension of the forces they unwisely challenged. The contrast between your respective trajectories tells the complete story. While you ascend toward expanded awareness, they descend into contracted perception. While you progress toward increased clarity, they regress into intensified confusion. While you advance toward greater peace, they retreat into deeper turmoil. The diverging paths reveal everything necessary about the choices that created them. Their refusal to accept accountability represents final desperate attempt to avoid inevitable confrontation with reality. Their denial of responsibility constitutes last frantic effort to escape approaching revelation. Their rejection of culpability demonstrates terminal determined resistance against imminent disclosure. Their fear acknowledges subconscious recognition that such evasion ultimately succeeds only in amplifying consequence rather than preventing it. Your vindication unfolds with supernatural coordination across multiple dimensions simultaneously. The comprehensive nature of this justice exceeds what human orchestration could achieve, revealing divine choreography beyond mortal capacity. Watch with detachment as universal law completes its flawless operation. Your participation requires neither force nor intervention, merely conscious awareness of principles operating independently of human effort, yet responding precisely to human choice. The fear you witness in those who opposed your truth represents involuntary testimony to its power. Through their reaction, they confirm everything their words deny. Through their fear, they validate everything their declarations dismiss. Your justice unfolds not through vengeance, but through revelation, the simple, powerful disclosure of what truly transpired. Your vindication emerges not through destructive force, but through illuminating clarity that simply reveals what always existed beneath artificial concealment. The spiritual protection surrounding you materializes most visibly now as universal validation of your position. What appeared as vulnerability reveals itself as invincibility, precisely when opposition reaches maximum intensity. Their fear escalates because what approaches transcends material consequence. Beyond financial collapse and reputation destruction awaits confrontation with ultimate reality. Their terror acknowledges subconscious recognition of this transcendent dimension. Your vindication serves purposes beyond personal justice. Your individual victory contributes to collective awakening. Your personal vindication facilitates universal liberation. The divine timing of your justice arrives with perfect precision, not according to human expectation, but cosmic scheduling. The universal calendar operates with flawless accuracy, despite mortal impatience. Those who persecuted you discover too, elate the spiritual authorities protecting truth speakers. Their fear acknowledges dawning comprehension of the supernatural protection they unwisely challenged through opposing the truth you represented. Your justice has arrived, not through your vengeful pursuit, but through natural operation of universal law, not through your determined efforts, but through inevitable function of cosmic principle, not through your calculated strategy, but through perfect execution of divine order. Stand as conscious witness to this demonstration of spiritual justice that requires nothing from you, yet confirms everything you represented.